and today we are exploring breakfasts around the world. This is part 3. The other 2 parts are linked in the description. We have 5 new breakfast dishes from 5 countries. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Janette and I'm from Ardnacrusha, County Clare in Southern Ireland. I'm living now in Abbeyleix, County Laois with my son and my husband. The dish I want to talk to you about today is Boxty.
It is essentially a potato pancake. The difference with our Boxty to other potato pancake recipes would be that we use a combination of both raw and cooked potatoes. They're delicious and very filling and very economical, so a really good way to feed a family without spending too much money. This dish would have been traditionally ate at Halloween time, or Samhain as it's known in Irish, because that was when the main crop of potatoes were ready to harvest. Irish families back then, and I'm talking about 2 centuries or so ago, they were rather large, and there was a lot of mouths to feed and there wasn't enough lot of money to do it, so it was just a great way to extend the potato, and it's still very popular. Not only now in households, but also it is kind of migrated into restaurant menus as well.
Boxty always makes me think of my mum, so it's very comforting. I always loved them. I always preferred them to the mashed potato because they just tasted more delicious. There was usually more butter involved, so that really helped. And my palate as a child wouldn't have been the most adventurous, so that lovely simplicity was always a winner for me. And now I find myself making them for my son, who's 3.5 now. So I hope you give them a try. I hope you really enjoy them. I hope you don't forget the lashings of butter because it's so important. And I hope they fill your belly in the best way.
This is kind of exciting because I was recently in Ireland.
A rainy day in Dublin town. La 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 la.
These more like we use in orchards here.
Big piece of cheese.
And I had a corned beef Boxty, and I had to ask because I had no idea what a Boxty was. Now look at me. Here I am, not only knowing, but also making one myself. This egg, again, looks ridiculously perfect. It looks like a Studio Ghibli egg. I love it. That's good. It is interesting how it's made from raw potato and cooked potato, so it's not just like a mashed potato pancake or bread, kind of like the Norwegian lefse that I've made, or I even made potato farls from Northern Ireland. This does taste different. It's got a little bit more chewiness to it, which I really like. I'm gonna make a complete bite, an entire breakfast bite. Go with the egg and bacon. When I made the first round of this, you can see that the batter is really thick. I actually ended up adding a little bit more buttermilk because you do want it, upon having now made it, you want it to be able to be spread a little more than I was able to the first time. As far as breakfast go, it's honestly really delicious and very easy to make. I like that it's familiar, but just like has a little bit of a, it's like a little potato pancake, but different. Before we get to the next breakfast dish, I would like to thank 2 Dots for sponsoring today's video. 2 Dots is actually a puzzle game that is free to download on iOS and Android. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen cooking, and when you're cooking, there's also a lot of downtime, but you can't necessarily go anywhere. And I'll be honest, I end up playing a lot of games on my phone. It was really cool that 2 Dots reached out to me because it's actually a game that I really like playing. Visually, I think it is very beautiful. It's got this minimalist design, and the levels are kind of challenging. It doesn't feel totally mindless. It's actually a really popular game with over 115 million downloads globally. And outside of the puzzle element of the game, there are weekly scavenger hunts and treasure hunts, so there's kind of like other things to do within the universe of 2 Dots. When it comes to phone games, there are obviously like a lot of games to download, and I like the free ones and I like the ones that people recommend. So I'm recommending this one if you're looking for, a way to pass some time that isn't doom scrolling. If you're watching this video on your phone and you want to try downloading the game, I've left a link in the description. Otherwise, you can just search 2 Dots and download it there. Or if you're on your laptop, use your phone and scan this QR code to download it. Okay, let's get on to the next breakfast.
Hello, my name is Akom and I am Cameroonian.
I currently live in Limbe, which is found in the southwest region of Cameroon. The breakfast meal I will be sharing with you today is called pap, puff puff, and beans. We commonly refer to puff puff as a bean and beans as achombo, so this meal can be called achombo and pap to be specific, or just achombo for short. Pap is a smooth porridge made from ground fermented corn. Beans is a spicy stew made from frying either boiled black turtleneck beans or red kidney beans in any spicy vegetable combination of your choosing. Puff puff is a sweet deep fried dough. I really like this meal because it's one in which each component can hold its own weight, but then when you bring the three components together, it makes for a very delicious meal. You have the silky, sweet and sour pap being paired with the puff puff, which has a crunch on the outside. Then you have the spicy bean stew, which just ties it all together very well. Cameroon is a very diverse country, but I believe this is one of the few meals which is eaten and loved all across the country. Growing up, we typically be served this meal on Saturday mornings or during the holidays because it's quite filling and will give us the energy to do all the subsequent chores or just to play around. And because of this, I associate this meal with laughter, mornings, family, and friendships. I think you should try this meal because it's delicious, it's affordable, and it's filling. What more can one ask for?
This was a lot of doing things that I have never done, and a little bit of some things that I have done, like the donut holes. I am so curious about this pap. I don't even know what this could taste like. Sour. It definitely tastes fermented. The texture is kind of like pudding. Never had anything like this. Never. That's pretty cool. Now for my puff puff, which honestly, like, these are puffy. Do you see this? Puffy. And it's going to be a spicy bean stew because I put an entire scotch bonnet chili in there. Didn't even question, just boom, whole scotch bonnet. I guess I'm gonna eat them together. Good puff puff. Oh, oh, that's spicy. I feel like, oh, my ears hurt from it. I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, my spice tolerance. I feel like sometimes I think my spice tolerance. I can't talk. My ears hurt. Sometimes I think my spice tolerance is increasing because I'm like, oh, look at me. Like, I can eat a green chili. Scotch bonnets they're not the same. I would say that, like, yum, the stew is really good. Spicy. Maybe the pap helps with the spice. My hands are shaking. Oh, the pap helped. I'm gonna try the puff puff just on its own here. This is a great texture. Crunchy on the outside, super chewy, very light and fluffy on the inside. I did good. These are good. I will say, when I was watching videos of these being made, a lot of women were like kind of dropping it in with their hands. That is definitely a skill to master because when I tried it, it did not look good. Did not look good. I feel like the more I eat it, the spice is kind of like I'm becoming one with the burning in my mouth and ears, and I'm kind of enjoying it, especially mixed with the fried bread. Oh God, spice burps. Sorry. It's like I'm complaining that it's spicy, but I keep going back for more. It's kind of addicting.
My name is Romina and I live in Toronto, Canada, but I was born and lived in Mexico City. The breakfast dish I would like to share with you today is Huevos Divorciados, or divorced eggs. Huevos Divorciados is a way of plating huevos rancheros. This is a breakfast dish that consists of 2 fried eggs, each surrounded by different types of salsas. So one is red salsa and one is green salsa. Then they're divided by refried beans for the divorced idea and eaten with tortilla chips or tortilla. Although eating this dish gets messy, it brings back so many nostalgic memories for me. Huevos Divorciados represents our love for savory breakfast and the rancher style of cooking. My mother's family owned a ranch in the most southern state of Mexico called Chiapas. That's where my grandfather grew up, and she never fails to tell me stories of all the wonderful women who cooked for her family, and this breakfast dish comes up quite a bit. I think most Mexicans have seen a version of this dish one way or another, since many breakfast dishes for us consist of 3 ingredients: tortilla, egg, and sauce. Surprisingly, we found a variety of ways to make these into all different dishes. This dish makes me think of my grandmother, who used to invite me out every weekend for breakfast at a local cafe. And we would love to try all the different tortilla and egg dishes. Honestly, it's super fun to try everyone's different version of the salsas, since some are heavier on cilantro, some are roasted, and some are smoky.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. We got food on the lens. Food on the lens. Oh, no. Jeez, my knees. Oh, boy.
My favorite part has to be the cold and crisp on the edge of the egg white. In Mexico, it's super important to have a crunchy egg, so that's why when I go out for breakfast here in Canada, I'm always underwhelmed as how soggy the egg white is. I think other people should try Huevos Divorciados to understand Mexico's people, and the way we like to joke, like with this name, and how we love our local produce.
I'm surprised at how this turned out. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little intimidated. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. I'm so impressed. This is such an impressive breakfast to have made myself. But I want to say this. For something that has such complex and beautiful flavor, I think it is actually rather simple to execute, which is the surprise of the week for me. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to make 2 salsas. I'm just gonna buy the salsas. And then Rajat was like, Beryl, what kind of video would it be if you just cracked open 2 cans of salsa and fried an egg? And I was like, okay, that's a valid point. I just didn't know how to make salsa myself. I knew how to make pico de gallo, just like chop up some stuff, but not a salsa like this. I think a lot of times when I think about recipes that are easy, it's because they're kind of super basic. And you're like, yeah, making oatmeal is easy. You just put in some milk and let it, cook away. I just never thought that making salsa could be something that was so achievable. This is both salsas. Ooh, which do I like more? Red. I think I like the green salsa more. It's got more of an herbaceous flavor, I think, from the cilantro, and I just love tomatillos. Yum. I always say that you eat with your eyes as well as your teeth and tongue and mouth, but I just think visually this is such a treat, and I just love how it looks. And how it tastes. If you've ever thought to yourself, hey, I'm kind of interested in making my own salsa, just do it. I'm leaving the recipe in the description. Honestly, just do it. It's fun, it's simple, and you end up with something truly special.
Hey Beryl, my name is Menna and I'm from Egypt but currently I live in North Carolina. The dish I wanted to share with you today is full and Taamia. Full and Taamia basically are a stable breakfast 2 dishes. Full is the Fava bean dish that you can make with any sauce, that could be tomato or just simply with a squeeze of lemon and some cumin. And Taamia is Falafel, but the Egyptian version of it, it's made with Fava beans. The reason why I like this dish is because it's a stable breakfast that's common in all of Egypt, so basically everyone eats this for breakfast. For me, it's special to my heart because usually when I go visit my relative's house, it's the breakfast that we have all the time. And I just can't wait to have it every day since I'm currently in Egypt. I think everyone should try it because the dish is really filling and really prepares you up for the rest of the day. And it's also delicious and it's very versatile, especially the food, which is the fava beans, because you can make it vegetarian, vegan, or even you can use some sausages and meat in it. So really it's very versatile in its different ways. So I really hope you try it and I hope everyone gets to eat it. Thank you.
This breakfast looks amazing. It was a little difficult to make. I'm gonna be honest, I totally messed up my first round of falafel batter. The beans were just too soft, and so the batter was like gluey, not the correct texture. But I tried again, and we have the beautiful green color on the inside. I'm gonna try it with some hummus. Can't believe I made this. Whoa. Yum. Let's go with some of the fool. Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay, this is really good. I have had fool before because I spent a couple of weeks in Cairo when my sister was living there, and then I traveled all around Egypt. I had this Sony handy camera at the time, so the footage is like definitely a bit of a sign of the times, but it was a really amazing trip and the food was so good. So the recipe that was recommended to me to follow and the one that I used was actually my friend's channel, Obi. He runs a channel called Middle Eats. He and his wife are both Egyptian and they cook like amazing dishes. And honestly, I found his instructions like so easy to follow. I'm leaving the link to his videos that I followed for these recipes in the description. Hi, Obi. My sister was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn and brought back these Middle Eastern pickles, which they are the superior pickles. When I was in Syria with her, I would eat so many of these that I just consistently had heartburn. And she would be like, Beryl, stop eating like buckets of pickled turnips. And I was like, no, can't do it. It's worth the heartburn. It is. It's so interesting seeing like the different flavor profiles of what people think of as like breakfast food. I feel like in America, we're so rigid about what's breakfast and what's not breakfast. Thinking about this compared to, you know, a bowl of Lucky Charms, like, this is gonna set you up for such a better day. I mean, we'll see what kind of day I have today. I'll tell you later. As long as you can find canned fava beans, you can make the fool in like 10 minutes, and like this one is delicious. The falafel, obviously a little bit more work. You know, I feel like I accomplished something, but this was definitely more work, but also delicious.
Hi, my name is Marina and I live in Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland. Today I'm gonna talk to you about Birchermüesli. Birchermüesli actually consists of two words, Bircher, which is the name of the inventor of the dish, Max Bircher, and Müsli, which is the Swiss German diminutive for granola. Birchermüesli actually is quite similar to overnight oats. I highly advise you to prepare the Birchermüesli in the evening and enjoy it the morning after, because everything really comes together and it tastes just so much better. And in my family, we always put some granola or some chopped nuts on top of the Birchermüesli right before we eat it, just to get some extra texture, some extra crunch. I really love Birchermüesli because it's super colorful, it's vibrant, especially if you put in berries, but it's also very fresh and healthy and sweet, and with the yogurt it gets really creamy, so it's kind of like a dessert for breakfast, and that's just heaven. Probably everyone in Switzerland knows Birchermüesli because it's one of the most traditional and famous dishes here. In the past, people used to eat it in the evenings, and they called this dish café complet, which literally translated means complete coffee. So they just ate the Birchermüesli with a cup of coffee. What I actually love most about Birchermüesli is its diversity, because you will never taste the same Birchermüesli twice. The flavor of it depends so strongly on the season, the fruit that you put in, the family recipe that you have, and also your hang for experiments. I just think that you should go for it and try it yourself.
We are ending with a dish that I feel like I kind of understand, the idea of overnight oats, but like maybe and hopefully a lot more interesting. Whoa. This is way better than any overnight oat I have ever made. And I feel like maybe it's because of the banana inside of it. I'm gonna be honest, when I was making this recipe, I was thinking like, okay, you know, like we're ending with like a yogurt bowl, but this is actually really good. The grated apple with the banana inside, a little bit of the sweetness from honey, the crunchiness of the granola on top. Yeah. I feel like when I think about the idea of overnight oats, I immediately go to the like Instagram fitness protein powder girlies who I used to follow that was like, you don't need to eat like eggs and bread for breakfast, just eat oats. And like, okay, because like this is what I was doing every morning. I was doing like chocolate protein powder in with oats, and it just was like gruel. It doesn't have to be gruel. And this is really enjoyable, and I feel like it's helping me maybe like heal a little bit of my past self and some of the weird stuff I did with food when I was younger. Maybe that's TMI for you guys, I don't know. I love it. If you're gonna do this, do not skip out on the banana. I'm finding the banana to be like one of the most joyful parts of this. It's got really good flavor and is giving really good texture, which I'm surprised by. And, you know, add the crunchy granola on top, because otherwise you're just gonna be eating like soft and soft. I mean, yeah, yum. Let's just quickly look back at all of the breakfasts that we explored today and just rejoice in the diversity within this one category that we all can connect to. This show and all of you just continue to inspire and surprise me, and I want to say thank you, and I will see you all next week.